February 20, 2015. To the Remnant Faithful. Fifth Moral Standard of Truth. Holy love defines good and leads to your salvation. Our Lady comes as Mary, refuge of holy love. She says, "Praise be to Jesus." In order for a person to distinguish good from evil, his conscience must be formed in righteousness, godliness. This can only be accomplished through holy love. This brings me to the next maxim of truth for the remnant faithful: holy love defines good and leads to your salvation. Holy love, to love God above all else and your neighbor as yourself, is the embodiment of all of the 10 Commandments. No one enters heaven outside of holy love. There is no back door, no negotiating. Holy love is the path to personal holiness and your salvation. A conscience that does not completely embrace holy love is compromised. The more people the soul influences in his compromise of truth, the greater his sin. In searching for the truth, the soul need only to turn to holy love as a standard. Anything which opposes holy love is cooperating with evil. You cannot give God your whole heart if you keep part of it for yourself. Therefore, what you love in the world, reputation, power, authority, physical appearance or worldly possessions are obstacles to holy love. Use everything as a means to your salvation. The hope of the remnant is to remain faithful to holy love and to regard everything through the eyes of holy love. This is the way to avoid Satan's deceit, the compromise of truth and the abuse of authority. Holy love is truth and God's will for all of mankind. You cannot hang on to the remnant of faith if you do not hang on to holy love. Read 1 John chapter 3 verses 19 to 24. February 21, 2015. To the remnant faithful. Sixth moral standard of truth. All sin, all compromise of truth and abuse of authority, are inspired by self-interest. Our Lady comes as Mary, refuge of holy love. She says, "Praise be to Jesus. I come to you, once again, with hope for the remnant." The basic truth I will address today is this: all sin, all compromise of truth and abuse of authority, are inspired by self-interest. This is not possible if the soul's conscience is formed in holy love. No sin is committed accidentally, but only through free will. The sinner loves the sin more than God and neighbor. Sin is self-serving. The sinner has some disordered self-interest he wants to fulfill. At the moment of surrender to sin, this want takes precedence over righteousness. The soul may compromise the truth, convincing himself sin is not a sin. This compromise is, in itself, a sin and full of self-interest. Each soul has the responsibility to find the truth between good and evil. Authority is abused when the leader has his own self-interest at heart and not the welfare of his followers. Perhaps he leads people away from the truth in an effort to make his own authority more powerful. He may concern himself with money and his own reputation above the responsibility of his position. Such authority is not trustworthy or even worthy of obedience. The remnant must take note of this, for many are misled and misinformed through this particular sin. I want to give you, dear remnant, the support of knowing you do not lose favor with me if you act in good conscience supporting the maxim of holy love, despite disordered authority or compromise of truth. I, your heavenly Mother, stand with you. Many traditions may fall by the wayside in the future. I will be with you to help you ferret out the truth. Do not fear, but be cautious. Caution is prudence. Fear is a spirit which destroys your peace. Read 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verses 13 to 15. February 22, 2015. To the remnant faithful. Seventh moral standard of truth. Never respect man and his opinions above God. Remember, God looks at what you obey, not who you obey. Our Lady comes as Mary, refuge of holy love. She says, "Praise be to Jesus." Today, once again, I come to offer courageous support to the holy remnant faithful. As you discover where the truth lies hidden under compromise, you must never be dissuaded to relinquish it by opinions of influence. This is the last moral standard of truth for the remnant faithful: never respect man and his opinions above God. Remember, God looks at what you obey, not who you obey. Opinions have a way of becoming actions in the world. That is what makes opinions important. Opinions become laws and levy undue burdens on those who feel obliged to support and obey the law. Opinions alter the flavor of governments, institutions, and even challenge the security of nations. It is opinions which bring a political atmosphere into the church and state. These days, most opinions lead away from obedience to the Ten Commandments and holy love and towards sin through compromised truth. The remnant, is not just one particular religion trying to cling to long-standing church tradition. Rather, it is all who desire to perpetuate Christian morals and standards of truth, which are fading away in this present-day generation. People's opinions on morals are being changed through mass media, which presents sin as commonplace and acceptable. People who choose sinful lifestyles are held up as admirable, and those who object are discriminated against. Therefore, the focus is not on eradicating error, but accepting it. The remnant must not accept such error over and above God's laws. It does not matter who accepts what. It matters if you believe error or the truth. God looks into the heart, not at popular opinion. Each soul must embrace God's laws above all else. Therein lies His judgment. Dear children, avoid quickly accepting popular opinion. Rather, search for God's truth through holy love. This is the path to your salvation. It is God's opinion of you that will matter and determine your eternity. Form your opinions around pleasing God, not on being accepted by those of compromise in the world. This will take a determined effort, but grace will be your ally. This is the hope of the remnant. Read 1 Timothy chapter 4 verses 1–2, 7–8. Read 2 Timothy chapter 3 verses 1–5. March 6, 2015. Summary to the remnant faithful. I am your Jesus, born incarnate. Today, I have come to tell you that the remnant is the hope and the foundation of the New Jerusalem. For when I return, all people and all nations will be living according to the Father's commandments and the moral standards of truth in holy love. Christian morals will be upheld and the truth will be made clear. Live according to these precepts now, as it pleases me. It is a sign of predestination. Once again, please know there are no geographical boundaries distinguishing the holy remnant. Rather, it is in hearts. The hallmark, the unity within the remnant, is that they do not oppose one another. Good does not oppose good. Only evil opposes good. Guard against self-righteousness, as this is a trap Satan sets before you.